And we are live. That's right, folks. I am not dead. Welcome to episode 51 of the Sling'N podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent. And I'm so happy to be doing my real job instead of yours because I almost broke all the things last time. But
I was trying to watch, but luckily I was distracted from one dumpster fire to another, my friend. No, just kidding. You and Frank did a fantastic job last week, so thank you guys for filling in. I'm so glad you found a fellow host of, dare I say, near equal attractiveness.
You know what? This is now called the Not Slinging Any More Gingers Led Live Ever Again show because you're fucking fired and Justin is hired. Hi, Justin.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, man? Welcome.
I'll tell you this, guys. It is really good to be here so that we both can pick on TJ.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. That was the plan. Yeah, right. There are none on this show. So for those of you that don't know, Justin Stewart is the director of something at Primary Arms. Justin, who the hell are you?
You promoted me, but that's okay. Yeah, I am the I have the longest-winded job title out there. I am the partnership marketing manager.
Oh.
Yeah. So my job pretty much consists of I get to have all the fun. I get to make friends with the vendors. So, all the gun guys that make the pew pew stuff, I get to make friends with those guys and sell them ad spaces on our website and other fun spots to put ads. And I also get to run an affiliate program. So we get to get our products in the hands of the good guys out there to case them all to you and let you know what they all think of our amazing product line.
So that's marketing short speak for I get to play with gun shit all day and they pay me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
there's worse jobs to have, bro.
Yeah, really.
I don't hate my life. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's been interesting. I started off as you guys know, I was a machinist for about 5 years, and ended up working for a gun company, building parts. And one of the guys came on down. He says, "Man, you got that gift of gab. When I do sales." So I ended up jumping into sales, and now I'm in marketing. I freaking love it. I mean, you can't argue with getting paid to make friends with super cool people.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we like to try and do here on the show is humanize our guest just a touch and give you an opportunity to tell us who you are outside of the ballistic world, right? So our favorite question, who the hell are you when you're not on the clock in the gun world?
God, I don't even know because I'm always on the clock. No, right. I am my daughter, who is 18 years old, is getting her full ride scholarship to a university with a theater musical major. So that's one of the things that I'm super proud of. But when I'm not doing the gun thing, typically European cars, tailored suits, and tons of martial arts. That's kind of like the world I live in, kind of James Bondish.
I was going to say, so you're James Bond.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just minus the cool accent and everything else.
And the girls, and the money.
Unlimited budget, amazing cars, cool gadgets. Well, I'm sure you got some of the gadgets. We can hope. Anyway, folks, if you haven't figured out by now, Justin is actually a longtime friend of ours. We have known each other for a couple of years now. I've had the privilege of attending NRA annual meeting with him, and he has assisted me in making all the various connections that I have and that we have been able to extend to benefit the show. And with Justin's affiliation with Primary Arms, one of our chief affiliates, links in the description. We felt it, of course, suitable not just to have a very dear friend on the show, but also somebody from inside the gun industry, that maybe not necessarily into the training world, maybe not just another gun bunny, Although the idea of Justin being a gun bunny is flashing across my mind, and God help me, I cannot get that image out of my head.
May it haunt you forever.
Thanks, bro. But yeah, so we know obviously with the gun community right now, with the mass hysteria that is sweeping the nation, we thought it'd be good to get an insider's perspective. Maybe somebody from not even the other side or from behind the counter, but from behind the supplier, right? So going a few tiers deeper into the rabbit hole, so we can pick his brain a little bit. But so Justin, let's start out quite simply. A lot of us in the consumer world are kind of frustrated right now. The cheapest, most garbage, like 9mm going for like 70 cents a round. Parts of guns are bountiful, but ammo and other accessories and things like that are in short supply. What are you guys seeing from your end that might be driving some of this?
Mostly you guys buying it all.
Okay, utter panic is I think that's a solid answer, right?
No, yes, Kent. What we've seen this last year, first off, has been absolutely crazy. We have broken national records twice this year in NICS background checks. And that's just NICS background checks. That's not states that recognize concealed carry, so you don't have to do a NICS background, or private party in states that recognize that in gun sales. So it's crazy. For the longest time, and you touched on it, is that guns are bountiful. They weren't. They're starting to make their comeback, thank God. But now, since everyone has their guns, everyone's buying their ammo. So yeah, it's the infamous supply and demand thing, where as something becomes rare, in this case ammo, prices tend to go up. And that it comes from the guys who are making mining the lead to putting the jacket on the lead and then loading it and so on and so forth. All those little rarities are now equaling big dollars, because we got to spend that too. Our prices are going up, therefore your prices are going to be going up. So that's really it. It's the supply and demand thing. When you sell almost, 4 million guns 2 months ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. You for every gun, you probably imagine almost everyone's gonna be buying at least one box of ammo, and now there is none. And it is crazy. Even the weird calibers, I'm a big fan, and TJ, you know this. My favorite medium cartridge is the 7mm Odd 8. I'm in love with that cartridge. Can't find ammo. It is a pain in the tush. So I feel your pain just as much as anyone. It's brutal.
Right. So before we move on, I'm curious about something. From your vantage point,
Yeah.
are there any support pieces of support equipment or other materials that are becoming harder to find from a distributor standpoint? That maybe those of us in the gun, aside from training, we know that's always in short supply, right? But material-wise, right? Is there anything else that we as gun owners need to be keeping an eye out for when it becomes available?
Not that I'm saying.
I mean, everybody bitches about ammo, right? I mean, that's kind of the easy, the easy wild card to throw out there. Oh, I can't find ammo. Yeah, but what else? What else are you not looking for that you should probably consider?
Yeah, that's really about it that I have seen. Again, most of your accessory stuff, belts, holsters, if we're talking concealed carry pistol realm, that's out there. Rifle stuff, it's usually parts for ARs, for the home. Barrels, grab your ballistic advantage as fast as you can, because they are hard to get a hold of. And that kind of trickles down into a lot of the companies that I wouldn't recommend them to your newbie, but for seasoned gun vets, your higher end put together for you kind of rifles, because those parts are hard to find, those guns become super hard to find. So put in your order now and just sit and wait. It's kind of like suppressors with dealing with the ATF. Don't complain about it. Just Because for all the time that you spend complaining about, oh, it takes forever, you can have it by now. It's kind of the same thing with like those kind of higher end custom guns. Parts are hard to find, yes, for those guys, but put in your order now because at least it'll be on the way. So parts for a rifle is kind of the challenge, but outside of that, most everything else is relatively bountiful.
So I have a question for you. If I was to outfit a brand new shooter with one gun, I know, because is there some like oddity caliber and firearm combination that you're surprised is sitting on the shelf?
Daniel Defense, their AR-10 and 260 Remington.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like 308 brass stuff, as you can tell, 708 and 260. 260, great round, and if you want to go hunting, then great. You have your auto gun can be your hunting gun. You just need to change out your mags. You want a precision gun, same thing. You can still do a grand, a 1,000-yard shot with that, and you're good. I think it's kind of universal. It's a good, and it's a damn good gun.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, 260 Remington is at least argued and the center of debate among many gun counters. Predates and is the predecessor to the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah, it's the same bullet, different brass.
Mm-hmm. So some would even say superior. I've heard it. I'm just telling you what I hear.
Well, and that's the thing is like when anyone does this is better than that, I tend to bite my tongue because quite frankly, it becomes an opinion.
Better for what?
Oh, well, it's all an opinion.
Yeah, everything's an opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could say the 260 being out of 308 brass has a little bit more oomph behind it. Yay. That's why I tend to like it a little bit more than the Creedmoor. But again, my opinion. I've seen 6.5s go a mile.
Yeah, you do see quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
So here I am going to primaryarms.com where I'm going to order a 260 Remington Daniel Defense rifle because reasons. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Well, no, you absolutely should, because then when you come back down to visit, we can take you out and get you to actually shoot it on a long range. That's past 100 yards.
Long range is 100 yards and in, goddammit. I can't see from here to the other end of the room. What are you talking about? That's why I shoot pistols.
We could put a red dot on your rifle if it makes you feel better.
Yes, I want to put an RMR on a 260. Perfect.
You know what? You wouldn't be the first one to do it.
I know.
Yeah. Fine. Think of it this way. If you can shoot whatever rifle at distance, how much better are you going to be with your pistol?
Oh, yeah. No, I know it's a thing. I live here in Pennsylvania where long range is the mailbox.
Yeah. No, well, and for me, I'm from Boise, Idaho. You can drive 40 minutes and shoot as far as you like. 40 minutes outside of Boise, outside of the city limits. Seriously, how many miles do you think you can go? Personally, I've done a 2-mile shot. But I had the land for it. I moved to Texas to work for this beautiful company in Primary Arms. And I was like, okay, great. Where's the places to go shooting? Like, make a friend who has a ranch, and you can probably go past 1,000. Like, oh,
right.
Yeah.
Well, shooting means different things to different people. For me, it's bill drills at 7 yards, and running the shit out of a pistol most times. And that's the beautiful thing about the sport is most of us can, like, regardless of our skill level or interest level in the other discipline. Man, if you took me out for a Saturday and said, hey, bro, I'm going to show you how to shoot 2 miles, I'd be giddy as all get. I'd be, this is going to be a good day, man. This would be fun.
Until we reminded him that he can't use his pistol to shoot 2 miles.
Yeah.
And just the same, Kent, is you're going to be the guy who's going to help me out with red dot on a pistol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm still working that one.
I'll be your gateway to the drug that is Jedi. We'll just You can come to one of my.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hosting them twice. I mean, when we talk about red dots on pistols, I kind of feel like I'm like one of the disciples that showed up before Jesus, and I'm like, no. I get it that the bread's really good, but wait till that motherfucker shows up with the fish and the wine, because like it's gonna get a lot better.
Yeah,
like that? That was a good Bible analogy.
That actually really was. Yeah, you should pat yourself on the back for that one. That was yeah.
But no, all my red dot teaching ability, and certainly most of my red dot teaching skill, came from Jedi. And my goodness, if you have not taken that class, it demystifies the concept quite handsomely. Yeah,
it's definitely on my bucket list to sit at his feet and just let him pour the bucket of knowledge. Because again, to me, especially when we're talking about pistols and concealed carry style stuff, it's martial art.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This is the evolution of your style of training, and this is the newest tool in that arsenal. You need to know, even if it's something like, I probably won't ever run it. Okay, cool. But at least you know what it does and why. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question from the industry insider's perspective. Are you guys selling as many dot-equipped pistols and as many RDS as I think you are? Yes, he's shaking his head. Yes.
No, yeah. Anything, any of the fire. Well, I mean, you can see this in almost every ad. Almost every manufacturer is now doing optic ready. Mm-hmm. Everyone. It doesn't. No matter how small, no matter how big, there's an optic ready version out there for you. Great. And just as many dots. Look at all the companies that are coming up with the latest and greatest, or a lesser expensive version of something else, or whatever. You're drowning in a sea of great stuff, quite frankly, because you can take a pick. You could reach up and pick up a brand. It's like, that'll work. That makes sense to me.
So it's I think anecdotally, and you probably have the numbers to back it up, I would say it's the largest growing category of pistol that's being sold. Would you say that's accurate or no?
That's beyond accurate. Yeah, no, you hit a bullseye at a mile with that one. You're spot on. That is the new trend. I hate the word trend. I shouldn't have said that, but it's the new thing.
Sure.
Because from there, it's like, what's going to be next? For people like me who have stigmatism, or in my case, cross dominant, right-handed and left eye dominant. Mm-hmm. So when I pull up a dot, yes, it's still a dot, but it's not as clear. Are we going to start seeing something different with that in the future? Is someone going to go, I'm going to make a holograph version of that and make it that small? So I mean, it's interesting to see where we're at and where we're going. Even reticles are different.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool to kind of see their thought process on some of these. It's not just the dot. You got to actually have a reticle.
It's interesting because I look at this much the way people look at cell phones. Right. So I've got the latest new hotness 11 Pro Max right now. And damn well somewhere in Cupertino, California, or however you say the name of that little town, there's some dude. Yeah, that one. Whatever. Copper tone, fucking SPF 30. I don't know. Point being, somewhere in California, there's a dude with the iPhone 26 Pro Max right now, like bug testing that and figuring that shit out. And I'm just going, man, what is Trigicon? What is Vortex? What is Holosun? What is Right? All these manufacturers that are out there with the various product lines. What is Primary Arms? Maybe you'll be good enough to give us an industry scoop here and tell us that Primary Arms is coming out. Look at that face. Oh, there we go. Right? Every optics company has got to be looking
for me to have some water.
Yeah, right. Every optics
for those listening on the podcast, Justin has just turned into the bashful emoji.
Yes. And I'm not trying to scoop him or be silly. Like if you were to try to tell me that Primary Arms is not looking at a pistol mounted optic solution, I'd laugh. Like, of course, every optics company is trying to come out with something, as long as they can make it fit within their paradigm and they're not just going to bring trash to market just to come out with the next thing.
Right.
You know, you gotta believe that it's at least being looked at. Will it ever see the light of day? You know, who knows? It depends on how it tests in the marketplace and whether subject matter experts see value in it, etc. But I know for sure you guys have had something to do with some reticles.
I can say you can go to our website right now and put your eyes back in your head. And you can take a look at a ACSS reticle holoton.
Yes.
Yes. Will that evolve into something that we're doing ourselves? To be honest, that's a different division than me. I really don't have an answer.
Right.
I'd be feeling the pressure with you guys. But on a business side, if we weren't looking at it, I'd be a little surprised.
Sure. You'd have to figure. It'd be like 10 years ago saying Ford wasn't looking at an electric motor.
Right.
Like, come on. Everybody's at least thinking about it, whether it's going to work or not.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm in whatever kick right now of watching the old school Top Gear. And, you know, when they're talking about cars, you know, from 2003, you know, is this going to be the wave of the future? I'm like, in another 15 years, yes.
Right.
So, yeah, in the world of optics, in the world of firearms, it's not that different. You know, just kind of hold on to the seat and see what happens.
So that ACSS reticle and a pistol dot is something I would be interested in at least putting my hands on and looking at some point, because it's an interesting concept. It's another evolution, and that's what we need. Before you poo-poo this stuff, whatever it might be, if you look at an ACSS reticle and an optic and a handgun optic, and you go, that's a terrible idea, just keep in mind that you were probably the same guy who was saying putting a pistol optic on a pistol was a terrible idea too. You don't know it till you try. And, you know, I applaud companies for putting in T&E and you know, R&D money and all the, you know, the company could sit back and just make the same black plastic handgun it's been making for the last 30 years.
Well, I mean, think about it. A lot of it too is just, you know, as Bill Rapier said, it's the subconscious or the unconscious ignorance or subconscious ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. I mean, I remember growing up with, you know, learning to shoot, and I never looked to a scope that didn't just have crosshairs. You got to think that even at that time, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, the concept of putting holdover hash marks or mil dots into a reticle, something to reference, aside from just the dead center of the crosshairs, was a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now you got all sorts of shit. You got people with big brains developing the ACSS reticle and things like that. You know, just to point the most obvious piece of evidence there. I mean, there is a purpose to all this stuff. I remember going from that and, you know, going through basic training and, you know, dealing with iron sights, and then got to my unit when I joined the Army, and they handed me an M4 with a Trijicon ACOG on top of it, and that had an ACSS reticle, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is there a chevron? What is this little pointed 2/3 of a triangle thing for? You know, and then, well, you know, once you sit down and understand how to use it properly, get training. Sorry, something in my throat. You know, it's amazing exactly how much your world can be opened. I remember when Kent baptized me in the blood of the red dot through our Lord and Savior Scott Jedlinski. Even I had that moment, and you can ask Kent; he was right there, because I'm pretty sure he was waiting for it. When I was just Jedi showed me something, I was like, "Holy shit!" That makes so much sense.
TJ spent a weekend with his jaw on the floor. Yeah. Oh, that was pretty cool. So speaking of the ACSS reticle, Justin, do you guys keep that Dimitri guy like in the basement somewhere, or what? Like, what's the deal with that? Is he in the break room and you just walk in and go, Dimitri, innovate, and then you walk out? That's how
that is pretty much that guy is. I have met some amazing reticle designers. One of them is still one of my closest friends. And Dimitri is my friend who TJ also knows would agree, but Dimitri is just that much more of that madman of reticle design. He, I don't know how he does it. I'm kind of glad I don't.
Right.
Yeah, that's just like it's one thing to look at it and go, okay, this makes sense. Something like the DMR reticle, which is known because it actually has, like, if the person's running this fast, you want to place your shot here, and it gives you all that in the reticle. How the heck do you figure that? Yeah, he's a mad genius, is what he is, and yeah, obviously we're all super happy to have Dimitri with us.
I would say, don't ask me. I did not get past the math once they started adding letters to it.
Feel you.
I was like, I'm not doing so good in English class. I'm hanging on to math by a thread. You're mixing the two. What the hell?
Yo, we're done.
So on a scale of Mr. Wizard to Grandpa Rick from Rick and Morty, what do we look? You talking mad scientist here? What do we help us understand the mind that is Dimitri?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Grandpa Rick.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have blown past Doc Brown straight to Grandpa Rick. Awesome.
I'm thinking, yeah, no, he's certainly that mad genius where he starts explaining something reticle wise, and you're just kind of okay, and then you see it, and then I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Where's this been all my life?
So that's one of those things where I would love to invite him on here, but we're going to need to get, like, I'm so out of my depth when it comes to some of that stuff. Every time I try to look it up and learn, I'm just like, whoa, there's so much to this.
Just randomly typing letters into the chat. Just like, I'm contributing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so neat when companies invest in that level of knowledge, and he's one of the more he's known to the community outside of that because he's done some things and done some media and stuff like that, but I'd venture to guess that there's one of him at Trigicon somewhere too, and we just don't know his name, or there's one of him at XYZ Optics Company,
right?
And there's these geniuses out there that when you tap their knowledge on a subject matter, you go, holy shit, this guy's probably one of the top 3 or 5 minds in the whole world in this particular subject matter. Thank God he's on our team.
Could you imagine what would happen if we put all those guys in a room? Like once, like go to Right On, go to Vortex, go to Trigicon, go get Dimitri. Just put them in a room and pray the world doesn't end. Like the space-time continuum doesn't shred because we put all that brain power into one solid room. That would be interesting.
I have had the great fortune of being at certain trade shows where a lot of those minds have come together. And it's funny because a lot of people, I've been in the industry for, 2 decades, and I've been shooting competitively all my life. And people go, oh yeah, Justin knows this stuff about guns. And well, I'll ask Justin. I know nothing. I can prove it. That whole, like, just sitting and listening going, oh, because you think you know a thing or two, and then you listen, you're like, I don't know nothing. But at least you're smart enough to, like, I'm just going to sit back and absorb, because that's what you do. And if you don't understand, what? What's that?
Yeah, that's a unique. It's kind of something similar for me, right? The further I've gotten in the training community, the deeper I realize the pool really is, right?
Oh yeah.
And the more, like, it takes a lot of what's the word? Mental maturity to realize that you just barely took your arm swimmies off, and like it might be the first time mom lets you swim in the big kid pool.
Yeah. Compared
to some of the folks that are like, holy smokes! Like
the lifeguards at that pool.
Yeah, the lifeguard. Yeah, it's incredible.
One of the best things I think was ever told to me was actually by one of my former martial art instructors, and he said, "When you get your black belt, you're ready to start learning." And you could apply that to anything. And it just like you're saying, I hit my first 1,000 yards. I thought I was king of the world. And then I read about this dude, Charlie Melton, busting out, miles in his shots. And I'm going, oh my God, all right, I got some catching up to do. And, I'll never catch up to that, but you try to catch up. And then again, same thing, it's like, I think we're all on the same page of like, we like to pull a trigger. We don't really care what, but you try a different type of firearm, a different style, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get good at it. Then all of a sudden this guy like Keith Garcia, starts blasting on steel and I can't keep up with you. Every discipline in the world of firearms that we go to, it's amazing to see who is out there just to make you feel small.
Yeah. No, it's really something else when you get right down to it. I heard, isn't there a guy in Texas or somewhere, Bill Poor? I heard he was shooting in Texas and hitting things in Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He busted out. I think it was in 37 shots. Don't quote me. I think it was 37 shots. He eventually landed a 4.1 mile hit. And though technically it's not a world record because you have to do it in one shot, the data collection from that is going to change everything for distance shooting.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's from me to the grocery store.
Yeah. I have a tendency, like if I'm at a stop sign, I'll, as I drive away, I count out how many miles to wherever. I'm like, God, Ray, it took me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's nobody on the road, and it's still taking me 15 minutes, guys. Oh, that's nuts.
I'd love to know what the time of flight was on that bullet. All 37 of them. I don't care if they hit or not. Just the time of flight from trigger pull to impact would be.
I think it was just shy of 29 seconds.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow.
I mean, seriously, in that time, you can cut your cigar and light it.
In that time, you can run 3 USPSA stages.
See what I'm saying?
Start to finish. You can shoot 3 stages. So the thing that like just breaks my head open when you talk about shooting something that far is we have so little control of our environment that we're shooting in as it is.
Mm-hmm.
In 29 seconds, a dude can drive out there, pick up the target, put it on a pickup truck, and drive the fuck away. Like, I mean, so, somebody could walk into the line of fire. The freaking, no, I understand they do those things in heavily spotted, heavily controlled environments with access and property and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thought of a trigger break to me that doesn't result in almost instantaneous feedback is just, for me to break a trigger and sit there and go, check my Facebook, look on my email. Oh, my girlfriend texted me. So did my wife. I better not tell her about her. That's great. Oh shit, there's the bullet. Like, unbelievable, man.
It's and see that's the, for me, that's the fun part about when people are shooting at those extreme distances is like I went onto a forum after Bill did his shot. And I was super jazzed, and it was a long range forum. So everyone who's supposedly on this forum is a distance shooter. The amount of bash that was going on was just kind of shocking. I'm like, you people don't understand that those 37 misses are data collection for an ammo company to redesign an ogive of the bullet. So a 4-mile shot all of a sudden becomes a reality, a normal reality. When I was growing up, 100 yards was far.
Still is.
Yeah. For the pistol guy, yeah.
It's
and pistol at distance, wasn't it? Didn't Jerry just do a balloon at $1,000?
He did that a couple years ago.
I thought he just did it again with.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's bad.
Poor Kent's never shot at $1,000.
It's just.
I think he actually did it one time with a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380 upside down with his Spinky.
Yes. Yeah. I think that was a 500 yarder, and he just did a $1,000 with a revolver. but I think it was on arrest of some kind.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, no, that's just nuts.
My 11-month-old just brought me a whiskey.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
Well
Teach
trained.
them.
Well trained. His mom was attached to him, but so besides long range shooting and shooting in general, it's my understanding that you are a Krav Maga master. Is that correct?
Oh God, anything but. No.
I keep promoting you.
You do. Yeah. Oh dear God.
Of mine.
We understand that you cured cancer.
Right. It's our understanding. No, but I like to ask questions and then shut the hell up about things I know nothing about. And Krav Maga is high on that list. So what's your Krav Maga life like? What's your interest in that, and how long have you been doing it?
Krav Maga specifically, I've been doing for about 2.5 years. So I'm brand spanking new. I've been doing martial arts since I was about 7, and I've never stopped doing one style or another. Krav is just, in my opinion, one of the most realistic fighting styles that you can find just about anywhere. Like most things, and again, this TJ doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu knows this too. A lot of schools will water down a style and take away from its original intentions. So, and I'm not going to throw rocks at anyone, but yeah, there's Krav Maga schools people go into, and it's like, dude, it's like Taibo. Like, yeah, you're right. Some people use the name. And then there's the Israeli, like, I'm going to rip your head off. That's more my speed.
Yeah, for those playing the home game, we've talked a little bit about martial arts and stuff here, but it's important because I take this part very seriously, and Justin, I'm sure you would agree with this. Traditionally speaking, martial arts was very much a religious experience. If you reach back into feudal Japan, ancient Eastern practices, and at least to the gravity that they held associated with learning martial arts, it was very much a religious experience. And I make that comparison to really kind of underscore what Justin was just saying about it being watered down. Think about how far Christianity and Judaism and Islam and all the religions of the world, there's the book, at least the predominant book of authority for Christianity, ends in the word version. Okay. So let's put this into context here. We have to understand that when we're learning a martial art, if we look at it as a religious experience, we have to be very cognizant. You don't just, any responsible person or practitioner of any religion doesn't just go to one church and that's all of a sudden their church, right? Mm-hmm. Someone who's trying to, maybe you move to a new area, you're looking for the right church, right? Same thing with martial arts dojos and gyms. For the longest time, my parents had, I was in martial arts at a very young age, and my parents kept asking me, when I was going to put my son into martial arts, and I was like, I've got to find the right place.
Yeah.
Right. And we're just so happy to find one. Luckily, that was relatively local. Shout out to Tennessee Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy and Coach Ray and Rachel for their gyms. It's been a life-changing experience for me, and it's been a life-changing experience for my son. But it's something that we all look forward to going to. It's not just a workout anymore. So I would encourage people, regardless of whether you go with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or the weaker substandard style of Krav Maga, that you find the right gym. So
let's just do this. Let's digitally spar and we'll figure out what's better.
The simple answer is neither.
Oh, stop being such a politician.
No, I was going to bring up a whole nother style.
Oh, what is it?
No, it's not very popular. It is called Kung Fu Sansu. And that is something that I studied a long time ago when I lived in California. And it is hands down the most nastiest, brutal, rip your head off, take your driver's license because now I know where you live martial art I have ever seen. Krav Maga teaches aggression, which, to be honest, is something as a martial artist I've never really learned. So I'm engrossed in that now, where it's like, oh yeah, I need to really get in there and be more assertive. Sansu is gouging the eyes. Once you knock somebody down, you stomp on their ankle so they can't get back up. It's kind of like, I remember I had a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu, and I went into this Sansu school thinking, I'm going to show these guys what's up. No, they were moving kind of slow, but I could.
That's for safety.
Yeah, it really is, because there is no sparring gear. You can't go fast. You kill each other. But seriously, it was like I could see where things are being targeted, and they're white belts going for throat shots and reaching for the eyes, and I was like, oh my god, I had to get my black belt for all that, and they're doing this as white belts. So I mean, on the theoretical, I think Sansu, to be honest, is probably the most nastiest realistic fighting style. It's just, yeah, what can I say? It's like medically brutal. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. I'm fortunate enough to also study that, which is why I don't mind a little bit of grief from TJ. But I love it. I really do. But there's something about, for me, I never take just one style. I might take something for fighting. I might take something for a theoretical practice. I might take something for technical. Actually, it's right up here is my diploma for a school called Shin Kendo, which is swordsmanship. And, samurai swordsmanship. So cutting through the targets with a live sword actually is what taught me how to draw a pistol faster. And
let's do this.
Yeah. Well, now again, it's one of those. It's like, I'm not going to compete against you. You're going to win. But for me, drawing a gun, I was always like kind of slow. But when I started drawing the sword, all of a sudden those little muscles in your hand just like start grabbing and going a little faster. But it also taught me like how to tactics, like in-field tactics. If you have more than one opponent in front of you, how to stack them by the way you move your body. And funny enough, the guy who gave me that diploma, because I'm pretty sure both of you gentlemen are old enough to remember the first Ninja Turtle movie.
Mm-hmm. I saw it in theaters, bitch. How old do you think I am?
Yeah, you're younger than me. Do you remember Shredder's right-hand man, that bald Japanese guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
Gotcha.
Yeah. His name is Toshiro Obata, and a world record holder in what's known as tamashigiri, or live cutting. And the man's a beast with a sword.
Can you imagine being the active shooter at the primary arms office in Texas and getting your fucking nostrils cut off instead of shot? All of a sudden.
People want to argue about suppressors in the home. I don't. I just got a knife.
That's freaking.
Yeah. You know what, Justin? I'm a firm believer that your wife was probably like cleaning out from under the sink, like, what the hell are these? They're ninja weapons.
Yeah.
Why do you have them?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
No. So
you're just waiting to get shot to death by a 300 blackout. And instead you get number 29 on the takeout menu. And it's just fucking, I just can't even, this is great. No. Yeah. And it sounds like I'm making fun, but what's really neat about this is the level of dedication that a person can put into a thing.
Yeah.
Relative to what the thing is, right? It's like, what's the application for learning how to cut somebody up with a sword?
Yeah.
Well, up until recently, you'd have thought it wouldn't have happened, and now I could totally see Justin in the middle of a riot with a freaking, Musashi sword going, "What, bitches? We got problems," right? But also, it's the level of dedication that it takes a person to get good at something, whatever that something is, right? And I'm pretty sure they don't just give you a live butter knife on your first day you walk into cut school. So
yeah, not necessarily.
Right.
and you touched on something that's super broad. So I'm going to teach you basic Chinese. Everyone's heard kung fu.
Mm-hmm.
You know what kung fu means?
I do not.
Working hard.
No shit.
Yeah, it actually translates to working man, but it just means like you're working hard at developing something.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's why it's like, when you hear kung fu, there's tai chi, there's Wing Chun, there's, san tzu, san shao, blah, 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 blah. Is because kung fu is that general term, just means that you're working at something. So, when you're out there working pistol technique, kung fu.
Huh. You just found your way into a 2-day POI at Green Mountain Defense where I'm going to use that now. And I'm going to quote you. That's really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, I absolutely want you to. I mean, it's anything that you do to better yourself in some way. And again, it used to be a lot of gun people would go, geez, Justin, that's kind of lame that you waste your time not pulling trigger. You're going to go to that, dance fight class. Okay. But when I go through a metal detector, what gets left behind?
Right.
Okay. The last time I checked, there's no jujitsu detector. So my skill set.
Oh, no, there is. I can look across the freaking room and look at you animals and go, I'm going this way.
You know what the funny thing is? That now this has certainly changed over the years, right? But when I first started martial arts, it was predominantly male.
Yeah.
And even one of our head coaches, one of the co-owners of the gyms that I go to, is the other owner's wife, and she's a first degree black belt, I think. She came up in jiu-jitsu when it was a male dominated sport. We'll use the term sport just for sake of argument here. But she's used to rolling and fighting and sparring with grown men. Talk about finding somebody outside, or trying to find somebody in your weight class, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of females at my gym, and every single one of them is absolutely ferocious. When that timer goes off and it's time to roll, you better hang on. The whole white belt learn to survive thing really comes into play. But yeah, it's pretty awesome to see that. But I'll tell you what, you see these ladies when they walk in the gym and they're coming in from their day job, professional type stuff, nurses, paralegals, lawyers, doctors, whatever the case might be. You wouldn't think a thing of it.
Uh-uh. No, you don't realize it until you wake up from your, Monteleo nap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's pretty impressive. So, also, and Kent, this might be valuable to you. So, cause I know we've heard Jedi say it. And since Justin is teaching Kung Fu, or teaching Chinese with the word Kung Fu, you've heard Jedi use the term os, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably seen him, comment that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of morphed in its meaning, but there is an original phrase from Japanese where it is an abbreviation for Oshishinobu, which means persevering when pushed.
Mm-hmm.
That one I knew.
Yeah, thrive under pressure, man.
You know what's awesome? I did 8 years of judo, and I'm the martial arts noob in the room. That's really cool. I like that. I really, really like that. We're
all noobs, bro. That's one of the great things about this.
No, dead serious. The arts I've been doing forever and a day. I'm always new. There's always going to be somebody that I'm going to sit at their feet and listen to.
That's the mentality that you find in serious firearms training.
Yeah,
and it's nice to. As my first instinct is always to make a joke, right? So I'm clearly gonna come up with something humorous because I'm 12 years old at heart. But also, it's really cool to see. I take it back to somebody who's craft level master at something.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you got a sword diploma. Who the fuck has a sword diploma? Hey, we're gonna talk to the general marketing master guy from Primary Arms, and he's probably going to talk to us about, 5.56 ballistics. He's probably going to talk to us about the late. P.S. He hasn't done shit to talk about his own products at all yet. There's been zero self-promotion whatsoever. Maybe he's going to talk about the latest and greatest whiz bang. No, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about sword fighting. Like, you never know until you kind of start to unpack this stuff.
Also, why we don't do show notes.
Exactly. Exactly. You never
I was going to say
know.
the natural entertainment evolution of this conversation has been awesome. Yeah, thank God for no show notes.
Well, others, no disrespect to those that do that. Others do that very well. But, I'm going to tell you what, man. I never would have. I knew TJ told me, and you mentioned some stuff about martial arts, and I kind of had a box I would have put you in based on, right? Like, what would you expect a guy our age and with our similar life trajectories, et cetera, et cetera? What kind of martial arts would you expect him to be into? Freaking high level sword fighting would not have been on the top of my list. And that's really neat. And what's funny is when people meet us in our various outside lives, right? There's plenty of people that would meet TJ or I in our otherwise professional lives that would have no idea we're gun people. You have no idea who you're walking around.
Yeah.
So somebody somewhere in Texas has been next to a freaking Jedi in Justin, and nobody knew it. I mean, here's a freaking lightsaber sword fighter guy, and you just thought he was buying bananas next to you. Like, seriously, it does serve a purpose, and my point serves a purpose, which is you have no idea who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
In any level of life, with any level of knowledge, and the minute you try to put somebody in a box, whether you mean to or not, you're probably grossly mistaken.
And I think that's part of the beauty of all of the fighting defensive cultures, whether it's, again, the hand-to-hand martial arts or modern samurai sword in our firearms. We have learned to never judge a book by its cover. You have cats out there who are short and skinny, and you're like, this guy doesn't know how to pull a trigger, because he doesn't look like, Mr. Special Forces, and he just rips through everything. Same thing in martial arts. It's my Sansu teacher was this bigger Mexican guy, and you think, oh, I'm taking kung fu, I need like the little Chinese dude. What's up? Ends up being like the most amazing. And I think when you get involved in a culture like that, where you're always surprised, you take that into the street with the humbleness of everyone you're talking to, even when it's getting aggressive. You kind of like, I'm going to give this guy a little bit of space because he may know something I don't.
Yeah, in case he has a fucking sword. Yeah. Yes. When I try to build drill at you and you cut my fucking HSTs in half. Oh no.
He's got one on his keys.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
God almighty.
No, so actually, no, you know what? Thinking about a direct correlation between at least some of the disciplines that are dedicated to swordsmanship. And Justin, I'm going to ask you to help me out with this because I cannot remember the name of it. There is an entire discipline that is dedicated to attacking upon the draw.
Iaido.
Iaido. So you guys, I'm sure.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Iaido, not E-I-E-I-O, you smart ass. Because I think
Okay.
that's where you're going with it.
Okay.
But so Iaido is essential, and I'm going to bastardize the hell out of this, so I apologize. But essentially, attacking as soon on the draw, right? What else is that like? One shot at 7 to the A zone, bro.
Yeah, you're
from
right.
the draw. Same concept. So that's.
You'd be surprised how many of those correlations actually happen.
Sure.
Whether it's the sword, the knife, the gun, empty hand, it doesn't matter. The correlation and how it translates is pretty interesting. It changes your stance when you're shooting. you know, if you've done martial arts, and you're more stable. And when you're moving, your head doesn't bounce because you've done martial arts. So you can stay level and engage targets on the move.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, just the overall muscular development, you know, both major and minor muscle movements, or fast twitch and slow twitch muscle groups, you know, all those things build up to make, again, you know, it's the recurring theme of this podcast: be a well-trained and responsible self-defender, right? Cardiovascular fitness, cardiopulmonary fitness, and endurance, you know, building and developing the fast and slow twitch muscle groups that will ultimately all build and support the other things you're doing.
So I'm going to give a shout out real quick to Chris Kelly, who says this show gets better every week. Tiffany Johnson's packing 2 Glocks around Memphis, and here's Justin slinging swords. You guys have no idea who's coming. It's incredible. Yeah. I'm terrified of everyone. My education in this last 8 years in the training world and 12 to 14 years of paying attention in the gun spear is don't fuck with anybody ever for any reason. Because next week on the Sling'N Led podcast, we will have Obi-Wan Kenobi or somebody. Like, God knows what it's on. Well, actually, we've got Tom Givens, so yeah, really don't screw with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, that is technical. I mean, if you really want to go that route, if there's anybody in the gun world, we could consider Obi-Wan.
That is true. All right, so yeah, we actually do have Obi-Wan coming on. But it serves a lesson, which is that physical violence is no respecter of gender or size or weight or any other subcategory you might put somebody into, and you have no idea who you're messing with. Mm-hmm. So Justin, real quick, you showed it off on camera, but is that a sword on your keychain? What is that thing?
This little guy actually is pretty special. This is a Phil Hartsfield knife. It took 2 years to make it. And I know it looks like nothing special, but it's handmade from, he's passed away, but he was a sword maker. And so he made a lot of my tactical knives, including this little guy that goes on my key ring. And yes, it is ground and cut like a samurai sword. One of my favorite tricks, and I can't do it on a camera, but take just a sheet of newspaper, roll it up into a tube, and just cut it repeatedly. And just, yeah, it's super sharp. It was worth what I paid for it. But the guy who made that is very special to me, so I always keep it with me.
That's really cool.
Neat. Yeah.
Well, they say that, especially with swordsmiths, a piece of their soul goes into every sword. True practitioners, not people like me that just make knives, right? A true swordsmith, a piece of their soul and like life, however philosophical you want to get with it, goes into everything that they make. So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's actually really cool, man.
Yeah, no, that's my pleasure. If I knew it was going to be more sword stuff, I would have brought out like more of his blades. He made a sword for me, and he named it.
How far away is it?
It's in my storage.
Oh,
yeah, like probably not enough time, but he named it Shikaze, which is Japanese for death wind. Like I'm leaving the name. That's just too cool.
I can't anymore with you. You're so amazing. It hurts. I just don't know what to do. All I need to know is, can you attach a Picatinny rail to it, and can I put a red dot on it? That's all I want to know.
You know what? More precision.
Because I'm in. I'm 100% in. I just can't anymore. All my professionalism is gone, and now I'm just geeking out like a little school child. Like, this is so neat. You're seriously talking about sword fighting.
Yeah. So Kent, when are you buying a sword?
Bro. So first of all, Justin, congratulations. You're now on the list of people that TJ has to make knives for. So just tell him what you want, and he'll fricking spend his weekend.
He knew that. He knows that.
Just friggin', oh no, but I need to say it because, Daddy got to pay for that grinder. Right?
Yeah, you kind of need one, don't you?
No, he got one. He got his grinder.
Yeah, I just got my new one in.
See?
So
he doesn't like to talk about himself and self-promote, but you know.
I haven't seen pictures of this new toy. I need to see pictures.
Dude, I haven't posted a whole lot on social media lately. The last couple weeks have just been utter chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I even missed the show last week. I'm the co-host.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to be on the show last week. So it's starting to settle down. I'll get some pictures of it. But if you're interested, for those of you that might be wanting to get into knife making yourselves, or hell, as a general tinkerer, a good 2x72 belt grinder is always a good tool to have in the shop. But I went with the Ameribraid Fastback. It is a 1.5 horsepower motor. So actually, no, I take that back. It's a 2 horsepower motor, but because I'm not wired up for 220 volt, I get 1.5 horsepower out of it.
That's enough to grind through tool steel.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it will destroy the belt before it slows down grinding through some of the stock that I have. It's impressive. But I'll get some pictures posted up of it.
Good man.
So let's round out the martial arts conversation at least a little bit. So Justin, as somebody who has studied multiple disciplines, if you're looking for somebody who's wanting to get into it, maybe never even thrown a punch in their life, what martial art would you recommend for somebody that is looking at it strictly for self-defense?
Ooh. Everyone's different. And that's kind of, again, opinion. But I would honestly say Krav Maga if you want to get into a more striking self-defense style, because more than anything, it'll change your mindset. It does build in the aggression. It does turn that kind of attack switch on in you. And I would also say probably rounding that out with another more fluid style, rather it be Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or maybe even like Chinese boxing, like Wing Chun or Sansu or any of that, to kind of develop those finer motor skills and more fluidity in it. But that's my typical recommendation. Krav Maga to just smash people's heads into walls, and something a little bit more fluid so you can get out of a position that you might be put in.
I like it.
Sage advice.
So
that'll certainly work.
Besides cutting people's heads off and punching them to death, let's talk about your EDC firearms life.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There it is. Conversation.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, when you go down to talk to Q, what's he offering you?
This is true. This is true.
TJ,
so
10 points.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is the SIG P365 XL.
Okay.
And I do run it with a flush mag, and then my spare mag is the full length. I also have, I'm going to brag, a Zev OZ9. Yeah, that's for I know I'm going to be going to an area that may not be the best. And thank God for belt companies. Belts have changed over the years, thank God. Core Essentials and Next Gen. This is actually as about as casual as anyone will ever see me. I love wearing suits.
Yeah, dude. By the way, you have got some amazing tailored suits. So for those of you that want to follow Justin on social media, he is at Suited Misfit on Instagram. And I'll tell you what, dude, sharp dresser. I'll tell you what.
Well, thank you.
No, this is coming from a guy wearing a camouflage hoodie, but
it's become kind of the joke, because most people are like, the reason for the name Suited Misfit is I wear suits. No one thinks about the guy in the suit carrying a gun or having the martial arts skills or so on and so forth. They think, all right, whatever, show off with a suit. So that particular class of group is, they're doing their judgy thing. And the suit type people kind of look at me a little funny because they know that my suit is tailored to hide a gun.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's a thing.
Yeah, so both groups kind of look at me a little funny, but both of them accept me. So again, I thought it was like the best fitting name of Suited Misfit. But yeah, truth is like that, little Sig, even the Zev, you could hide it under your gentleman's vest or waistcoat, whatever you like to call it, and your appendix carry's gone. But pulls up just like a shirt, and you can go to work whenever you need it.
I like it. So for those of you that don't know this, you cannot go to JCPenney and get a tailored suit to hide a gun.
Hold
Really?
on. No, we are presented with a solid opportunity here for tailored suit knowledge. If I have a suit, it is tailored.
Okay.
But
no, the guy that sold it to you's name was tailored. That's not the same thing, DJ.
Don't split hairs, Kent. Anyway, for those of us that do wear suits or might find ourselves being fitted for a tailored suit, what are some things that we need to explain to the tailor if we want to be able to carry a gun? How do we ask for a suit to be tailored to conceal said firearm?
By actually just asking. The number one rule is, and it depends on where you go. No two places are going to be alike. And there's different types of custom suits, and I'm not going to do that big dance. That's a big conversation. But honestly, wear it in, let them know it's there, and then you need to have it tailored around. Like my trouser waist is usually a little bit bigger than my actual waist because I carry appendix in waistband. My waistcoat or my vest is a little longer, so it covers better even when I'm sitting, standing, or what have you. And a proper gentleman, by the way, with your waistcoat, you always leave the bottom button undone. So it makes it, again, easier for you to grab it, pulling up like just your t-shirt. But the waistcoat is the big trick. And your jacket, if you carry like 3 or 4 o'clock, you probably want it maybe a size bigger. If you're a 42 jacket, you probably want a 43 jacket.
That works.
I like this. So how much suit dry fire do you do with the 365 XL and the OZ9?
Really?
Yeah, do you do it?
All the time.
No, I don't. See, this is
all the time. Yeah,
I don't know. That's awesome.
In all honesty, I fully confess this. I went to a store, bought a inexpensive suit, and I've ran matches in it.
Oh,
picture it didn't happen.
I'll have to find a picture just for you. Dead serious tie with the tie bar, no waistcoat. People thought I was like stupid, but for me, you're running a match. That means you're running. You're in positions that are uncomfortable and weird. You're drawing and engaging multiple targets. That's the best place to actually have like a real good sense of training. And yes, the suit got ripped to crap, but I don't care. I bought it cheap for a reason. But I wanted to see, because well-tailored jacket, if it's buttoned, you bring your hands up real quick. Is it going to rip?
Mm-hmm.
But can I actually bring my hands up? Is it going to restrict my movements? A good suit doesn't. But yeah, no, I dry fire practice and practice the draw off of the suit daily. It's one of those things, and any again, martial art gun person, we practice our stuff daily. You watch TV, you put something above your TV, and you're just drawing and seeing if your front sight snaps on that dot or sticker that you have on the wall. But yeah, no, it's a daily practice, right and left-handed. Mag changes, one-handed. You do all especially during quarantine. What else is there to do?
My man, I love it. So, yeah, I don't have a tailored suit. I just don't. I don't need one.
We gotta fix that for you.
I mean, so there's kind of that like 10 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag thing going on with me. It's just, I mean, how much are you really gonna?
Now, let's be a little bit more true to reality here. Kent has been losing weight so quickly. How much are you down in the last year?
3 digits.
Dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, man, congratulations.
Yeah, but I mean, it got that bad in the first place, so there's that. But yeah, we down.
But
We
they're
down.
fixing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for every one of you that have lost 3 digits, there's another dozen or more across the country that have gained 3 digits.
Yeah.
Right. Or refuse to lose a digit.
Yeah, dude.
Right. So dude,
you're making the progress, man. That's the important part.
So I would say that you should hold off on the suit. And actually, you know what? That should be your reward to yourself. When you hit your goal weight, you should go spend the money and get yourself a fucking tailored suit, and then take Soph out for a lovely dinner.
I'm gonna fly to Texas and be like, Justin, I need a sword and a suit. And very little questions asked about either.
Yeah. Well, the sad part is I can help you out with both. So
I love it.
It's a one-stop shop. Have you seen Kingsman? Just don't touch any of Justin's lighters, for the love of God.
For the love of God, please don't.
Oh my God!
That movie came out, and I got like 4 phone calls of my friends going, "They made a movie about you."
That or Kill Bill.
The yellow tracksuit wasn't working. For
The yellow's not my color. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, you're an appendix guy. What holster are you running?
Tier 1.
T1C. Okay. And what does a dude that is wearing a suit do for a proper suit belt in such a scenario?
So one of the things in the world of suiting, when you wear a waistcoat or a vest, you don't actually wear a belt. You're supposed to wear suspenders, which is the dead giveaway to anyone on that side of the universe. They always go, Justin knows how to dress. Why is he not wearing suspenders? It's because I got my gun belt on. Usually I'll lean on next belt. They are, and I'm going to totally promote a company here. Sorry.
No, do it.
They're super stylish. Seriously, I got like a $300 belt in my closet. Even in a style comparison, $300 belt's nothing. This thing looks great, and it is an honest to God gun belt to hold up Glock 19 size and under. Absolutely great to wear with a suit because people will notice the belt and go, "That looks good," but they never notice the gun, which is
No, I can attest. I can attest to the core essentials and the next belt, those styles, right? I'll be honest with you. So I've looked at, obviously I've had a core essentials before. I remember when Blade Tech was making a similar belt, and now next belt. I think it started as next belt. It seems to all be the same tech to me. At least the quality seems to be universal. I'm wondering if there's a licensing agreement for mass production across the companies. But no, Justin's dead on right, man. I wear when all the days that I do go into the office, I've got a core essentials belt. It goes great with jeans, and I've worn it in a suit too, and it looks just as good. And yeah, Glock 34 in a tier 1 concealed rig with a spare magazine. Yeah,
it does. It holds your firearm in place, which is part of the comfort level. God, we're starting to sound like a commercial, but they deserve it. But it does. It really holds the gun in place, and it looks sharp that it becomes kind of a conversation without you being uncomfortable in that conversation. Like, don't look at my belt, because there's hiding stuff, but they look good, and they work as they're supposed to. So that's typically what I run, is a good holster, good firearm, and a good belt to kind of hold everything together.
So since we've got an expert here, let's take the rest of the suit EDC life. Are we able to pack med? Are we able to pack flashlights? Are we able to how much other stuff do we have?
So it depends on your suit maker, but the answer is yes. It's all of it. So I guess I could touch on it real quick, is that there are different types of suits. You can buy one off the rack and then have it tailored. Or you can have a custom suit. And the custom suits, there's different types. So if you go to Men's Warehouse, and I highly recommend doing so, you can get a custom suit for actually a little bit less than buying a suit off the rack. There's your trick. You buy a name brand suit off the rack at Men's Warehouse for $700, or you could spend about $650 and get a custom suit where you pick the liners, the style, everything. So it's great. And then again, as you're getting measured, you have your gun on you, they measure around it, all is well. Then there's what's known as bespoke, which is full custom. That means you pick a fabric and they build a suit around you. You're not a 42, you're not a 43 or whatever. You are a bunch of numbers. And the suit is specific to you. With that, you can say, I want the pockets to be reinforced for my knife and for my flashlight. Okay, not a problem. I want a spare pocket in the bottom part of my jacket for a tourniquet. Okay, yeah, not a problem. Those get stupid expensive, don't get me wrong. They could be thousands of dollars for a suit like that. But, you know, they do exist. You can have John Wick tactical suit minus the bulletproofing.
That was going to be my final question.
Yeah, I knew it. But with, like, again, your Men's Warehouse decent custom suit for not a ton of money, you can get an ankle rig tourniquet and have, like in my case, where it straps to your ankle. Mm-hmm. So my left, I'm giving way too much info. With my left leg, it's a little bit, I do a tapered leg, but my left is a little bit bigger, so I can pull up my pant and grab my tourniquet. And I'll go to the tailors at, Men's Warehouse and have them reinforce my pockets because of my flashlight, because of my pocket knife. It costs a little extra, but it's worth it. Especially the longevity of the suit. And you still look sharp. No one's the wiser that you got the gear that you do. And again, with all the technology that's out there, and flashlights are getting smaller and brighter. Yeah, it's a good way to go.
Swords and suits and.
Ken's gonna go watch Kingsman right
now. Make sure that your shoes, your dress shoes, have a rubber sole.
Okay.
If it's leather, you're more apt to slip. If it's rubber, you can still stick and, again, be in position, fight, grab your gear, do all that.
You mean I can't wear my Solomon GTX 8s?
Well, I'll let you this once.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really cool concept because we all find ourselves. I find myself in business casual or better attire more than I'd like to. Mm-hmm. And I'm always making EDC compromises.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's like the big misnomer is that you can, like, again, for you, Kent, I just say, you know what, I like suits, and that's a Justin thing. I'm not saying that everyone needs to, but if I'm going to recommend anything to the business casual crowd, don't worry about your jacket. Get a good shirt and a waistcoat that fits you, a vest. It'll cover up the front because it has to be buttoned. So you're covering your EDC. And again, if you go to places like Men's Warehouse, you can have really cool liners on the back of the waistcoat, like with skulls or something, or pink flamingos. Dead serious. I have a black suit that's nothing but skulls for a liner. It's so cool. But you can get that, like, oh, that's pretty cool kind of attention. But you're still covering your EDC and you're not having to compromise your kit. Because even in a suit, I can carry, and I've tested this, I carried a Glock 17 in a suit, and no one's noticed.
See, in my daily profession, which is still not shooting firearms, at least full time, mm-hmm. I could get away with overdressing. Mm-hmm. More so than I can underdressing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So if I could really pull this off and do it correctly, I'd do it.
Yeah.
I could be into it.
I believe in you, Kent. I believe in you, buddy.
Yeah. You absolutely could.
Also, 511 doesn't make suits yet.
Do you remember, like, back in the day when they made blazers?
Yes, I do, actually. That was just before they started making fishing vests.
Yeah, CJ's like,
in case you were attacked.
Yes, I do.
in case you were attacked by a fish.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah,
Oh, come
seriously,
on.
it's the easiest fix in the world for anyone who has that kind of like business casual thing. Don't worry about your jackets. Just get a nice waistcoat or vest, get a cool custom liner to it, pick out a fabric, design it, whatever. They don't cost a lot. They really don't. Covers up your EDC. You're not having to compromise, and you're good to go. Nice jeans. You don't even need to worry about like, oh, I need, slacks or something. Just good jeans.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! I'm going to Men's Warehouse.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely.
I'm gonna
So-
post a 45-second Instagram video like by the end of the weekend. Of me walking out of Men's Warehouse with the background. You can't tell by the way I use my walking. Like that whole thing.
Ken, if you don't, I'm going to be heartbroken.
Dude,
I'm going to be texting you every day now for that one.
I could see this being a thing. I could see me getting into this. Because you're right. A lot of the dudes that do what I do wear really nice jeans, some sort of like, how dare you talk to me that way? My dad's a lawyer, boat shoes, and a decent jacket and like a waistcoat, like you're saying, and
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always ways to mix it up. Some of the style. If I take off my jacket, I typically will roll up my sleeves. It's just a little pizzazz. It's kind of goofy, but it mixes it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's no excuse these days with all the tech that's out there for our side. Good belts, good holsters, good firearms that are small, carrying tons of capacity. And on the quote unquote fashion world, there's nothing to say that you can't pick out your own style and not spend a ton of money. I mean, granted, like I said, some of my suits, if I told you price tag, you'd be like, I could buy a car. But the majority of the ones that I share a picture of on my Instagram page are the Men's Warehouse ones. And they didn't cost like $150 for a 3-piece. And I designed them. It's like I want it to look like this, this, and this. And they just made it.
I'm gonna scare the shit out of some people at Men's Warehouse this coming.
Yeah,
Like,
I need you. It's going to be like that scene from Commando where he's got like the Desert Eagle strapped to his leg, the K-bar on his shoulder. And I need you to measure me around all this.
Excuse me, can you get the tailor for me right now? Come on.
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That was good.
Yeah, he usually only pulls out Arnie when he's drunk, but thank you for that, Justin. That rounds out the show nicely. But
yeah,
we are coming up on that magical time, right? So the top of the hour. I'm gonna switch roles with Kent for a moment. Justin, this is your opportunity. Please, sell the wares. Make your plugs, and while you're doing that, in the back of your brain, think of a charity of your choice, sir.
Ooh, I like you guys. I'm going to start with the charity. Can I do that?
Yeah,
Sure.
All right, absolutely. Okay, so I have worked with these guys off and on for, I don't know, about 2 years. They're the most amazing bunch of people on the planet. Hero Hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay. So they take first responders, whether it's law enforcement, fire, EMT, military, any of those first responders. Look, we they understand it. You guys have suffered and endured. This is the opportunity. They take you out, get you into nature, do some hunting, be around some like-minded people, share some stories around the campfire. They are amazing people. I love working with them. I can't say enough good things, but Hero Hunt, 100%. That is the group to go look at. Follow them on social media. They do big, at the end of the year, they'll do like a big giveaway or a raffle, excuse me. Chime in on that, help them out. Because again, the amount of work that they do is insane. And it is an actual nonprofit. Which we've seen a few of those kind of,
Right.
yeah,
Kind of, sort of for profit.
yeah. Buy the
but not legally.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, they're a great group of guys, and I highly recommend it. Please, please, please go out there and follow and work out with Hero Hunt. Do recommend that. As far as big plugs for Primary Arms, look, guys, one of the better websites out there, absolutely, for your parts, pieces, wares, accessories, great customer service, fast shipping. Primary Arms definitely the way to go. If you guys are interested in doing a little bit more with that, feel free to contact me. And, because we do have some programs available. And we're willing to talk to people and see what we can do and what we can't do to partner up, get the word out about what Primary Arms is doing, what we're about.
So awesome. Real quick, one very specific Primary Arms question from another one of our sponsors is, are you they were looking up Blue Label stuff, and maybe this isn't your forte.
It isn't, but I can try to help.
You have to have Texas credentials to play in your Blue Label pond. Is that right?
No, I don't believe so. I think, please don't quote me.
That's fine.
Yeah. I believe it's open to anyone under the law enforcement military for
maybe off mic and afterwards you could give me a contact person for these guys, because they're law enforcement over here and they're needing some help.
Yeah, no problem. And I mean, if I have to, I'll get you to the vice president.
Hey man, there you go.
Yeah.
So we'll get that figured out for you folks over there at Limitless Laser Works, because I told them you were coming on and they're like, oh, we need to figure out this Blue Label thing. I said, well,
no, without a doubt. If I actually have a meeting with the vice president tomorrow, Kent, please text me and remind me to bring that up. And we'll get them all kind of hooked up, because we do believe in taking care of our peeps. So
cool.
Yeah.
And let's see, I've got HeroHuntInc.org for Hero Hunt, and the Sling'N Led podcast, in the name of Justin and Primary Arms and all that good stuff. We'll be donating our proceeds from t-shirt sales for the next couple of weeks to the charity you chose.
You guys are awesome. God bless you.
Yeah, man. So we can't make any money selling t-shirts, so we might as well give it all away. And that seems to be our modus operandi of late. But we've given away money to Hold My Guns, what was the TJ? Help me. The
Voice of the Martyrs.
The Martyrs, yeah. The Voice of the Martyrs was a good one. This seems like it's
Rachel's Rest was another one.
Yeah. So we've been on that kick for the last bunch of episodes now, and we're gonna stay on it. So folks at Hero Hunt will see a nice little donation from us. And listen, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, right? Like we have an affiliate relationship with Justin and with Primary Arms, but what we don't have are relationships with people who suck, or product lines that suck, or companies that we don't enjoy working with, or companies that we wouldn't recommend you to. And clearly it's been working, because we've been recommending you guys to pick up some stuff at Primary Arms, and everybody's scrambling around like chickens with their heads cut off, looking for the last round of 9mm on the continent. Look, support good people, right? So y'all just learned about swords and suits and what Kung Fu actually meant, and all kinds of other stuff tonight that we didn't know. And thanks to Primary Arms, now you know. So the least you could do is go over there and buy some Glazer safety slugs, because that's all they got left. Right?
That is pretty much it.
There's your ad read. There.
You nailed that one, Kent.
I mean, that's pretty much it. But in all seriousness, there are companies who we know take advantage of tragedies and times like these, and price gouge and treat their customers like shit, and look for opportunities. And every time the industry does one of these things, they go, "Oh, here we go!" And from that's not what's happening here. Justin's a like-minded guy who is just as interesting to talk to, whether or not you have an affiliate relationship with him. And that should be evidenced by the fact that we had to force him to do an ad read for himself at the very end. right? Like we did all this other stuff first, and then in the last 10 minutes, it's like, oh, I guess we should sell some shit, right?
Yeah.
So, support them. Do what you can. Go follow our link. Buy a box of something or other. Buy a mag. Do whatever you can. Throw them a little love. And if you're serious and you're needing some serious help figuring out what to buy, hit us up so we can make sure that we get you on the right track and you don't buy some stupid substandard nonsense that doesn't work for you, because people are getting a lot of bad advice these days. Mm-hmm. So, There's that. TJ, we've got bills to pay, don't we, dude? You want to pay some bills?
Yeah, I suppose we do, man. But first of all, because I missed last week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Being all responsible and shit. What do you have coming up from Green Mountain Defense side? I know you're hosting everybody and their brother. So what's coming down the pipe, man? Let the folks at home know.
Oh, my God. So 2 rifle classes and a brand new beginner handgun class are the next 3 things on the calendar for group stuff. My Google Cal looks a little bit like Tetris right now with private lessons and home safety consulting and gun owners coming to my basement to lay on my couch and cry to me about things. But if you're needing my help in any way or respect, I'm here for you. greenmountaindefense.com/training is what's up with that. For the next coming calendar year, we are going to be hosting 360 Performance Shooting Modern Samurai Project, Tim Herron Practical Performance, Bill Rapier, perhaps John Dufresne? Question mark. Stay tuned. And I'm probably forgetting a person or two. And we're attending classes all over the place. It's always a student. So if your gun instructor isn't still learning things, go find a different pew instructor. So there's that. And I'm really excited to be bringing people along as AIs here recently. I've got a guy that you well know and love who's also named Justin, who is stepping up into the fray and helping me do a little AI work. And I'm also super lucky to have a gentleman with more experience teaching firearms than I have been alive, and by the name of Hirsch, who is AIing with me as of late. So it's nice to be so busy that you need extra help. So I'm super thrilled with that. And to all those of you who have put your time, effort, energy, and trust in us, I would say thank you very much. And man, we're going strong, and the winter's not stopping us. We're just going to go inside. We'll just shoot things inside. So that's how it's going. But yeah, thanks for asking, dude. I didn't plug myself last time. I never did.
See, that's why I'm here, man.
I know. And in the reciprocal plugging by TJ's Knives.
Yeah.
Sharp and pointy. So I just want to point out, though, you said that Justin is AIing for you.
Yes.
Folks, for those of you playing the home game, a couple of months ago, I'd say maybe a few dozen episodes back, Justin was on the show to give your perspective as the person who was relatively new to taking his training seriously.
Dude has dove into the pool with both feet and his head and his arms, and a lot of his time and a lot of his effort and a lot of his energy and a shitload of his money. Not all of it coming to me, by the way. He's attended a bunch of schools with me as a student. Yeah, man, you put in that level of work, I'm going to give you a shot. And
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, no, that is a testament to the level of dedication that he's put it. You get into it what you put, or you get out of it what you put into it, right? Mm-hmm. So, Justin's an awesome dude, very articulate guy. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him in the industry. So,
what's really cool? I'm sorry. Now I'm all like proud of my guy, right? So I got to talk about this for just a quick second. It's so neat to watch him give a person a perspective that I might be 10 or 15 years removed from. And he's like, no, that was me 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember thinking through that, and I'm so close to this mindset and he does such a good job of relating to people. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I'm not gonna throw a POI at the guy and make him teach a whole 2-day weekend class by himself or anything like that. But to see that he's been able to impart so much in such a short amount of time, he's an excellent communicator. But also, this is what happens when you dedicate yourself to something, and when you come into it with an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's probably still listening, and maybe he'll never hear this. But either way, kudos, dude. You've been doing it well.
Absolute props, Justin. Good job, man. Keep it up. So with that, folks, Justin, thank you very much again for joining us, my friend. You are always welcome on the show. We would definitely love to have you back. Episode 51. We're coming up to that formal 1 year mark, which is going to be really exciting. And
you missed our anniversary last week. You're supposed to buy me flowers. There's supposed to be this whole thing.
We'll talk later. So with folks, I'm very excited. So with episode 52, so next week we will have the great Tom Givens. For those of you that don't know, Tom Givens is a very well respected, dare I say, in the echelons of Godfather in the training community. There are not a whole lot of instructors out there that are worth their salt that have not taken his classes. Dude is OG level. So please tune in for that one. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like the channel. We'd love to have you, and feel free to engage with us on Facebook as well. Post any questions you might have. We'd love to curate them on the show, especially when Tom comes on. So really looking forward to that. Going through the ads, of course, paying the bills. We would be remiss, as we did mention medical equipment this show, to not mention Dark Angel Medical, Kerry Davis out there in the great state of no, he's not in Texas. I need to get this right. Colorado. Yes, thank you, Kent. That's why I remember he always wears that shirt from the Texas with the Texas on it. It messes with me, and it's his accent too. Anyway, use code BB15 at checkout. Doesn't give us anything, but it'll give you 15% off your order when you order from darkangelmedical.com. Just please do us the favor and post in the comments section of your order that the Sling'N Lead podcast sent you. And this way, Kerry knows that we are showing him some love. Of course, we've mentioned affiliates quite a few times this evening, but the links are in the description below. You can always go to greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links to see all the different affiliates that we have to offer. You're going to buy gun stuff anyway, so you might as well buy it using our links and support the show. It helps us do what we do. I think that about, of course, the charities, the different charities. See, I'm rusty. This is what I get for missing an episode. I used to have this down.
I'll swing in and save you at the end. It's fine.
No, our charities, holdmyguns.org, Hero Hunt Inc., of course, as Justin mentioned tonight. We will post links for all of these charities down below in the description of this airing. Even in the event that we do not raise any money from our mediocre t-shirt designs, I suck at this. Of course, we want to give you guys the resources, and feel free to contribute. We do not want you to feel obligated to purchase anything from us to contribute to these charities of our guests' choosing. Of course, being like-minded, we're going to support these charities on our own, and we encourage you all to do the same. Kent, who am I forgetting, man?
So real quick, our first girl, our boo, our lovers at Right On Optics, they trusted us first, so we gotta give them a shout out and some love to them. They don't do the promo. Yeah, those guys. That Justin.
Yeah, those guys. You're
those guys, right? So in all seriousness, happy to be Right On pro staffers and supporting the family and doing all that stuff. I just got some stuff in the mail today, and I didn't get to mount it up yet, but check socials for that stuff coming up. And here locally, my literal cousin, doing big things over at Limitless Laser Works. If you're looking to get a Glock turned into a more proficient fighting tool, they can do it with a laser engraver, a Dremel, and a fifth of vodka. 2 of those things are absolutely being used. But no, in all seriousness, Limitless Laser Works. Give them some love on Instagram. I'm getting together T&E programs and stuff. I'm looking to get some dudes shooting his guns. So if you're a shooter dude who's relatively skilled with a pistol, come get me, because we got to get some good feedback for for what my cousin and his business partner have put together over there at Limitless Laserworks. And just, if you need your NFA engraving, or if you need a tombstone, or if you need a coffee mug, or God knows what else engraved on his $300,000 worth of machinery, he can put it into MS Paint, and then it'll come out the other side looking awesome. I'm oversimplifying a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge here. But,
yeah, they quit using MS Paint like 2 decades ago, bro.
It looks the same to me. They beat the boop. And
I was biting my tongue.
Yeah. No, I don't, all I know is every time I go into his basement, I come out with an awesome looking gun, and one with functional stippling on it, by the way. So there is that.
Yeah, dude, no, I've got to attest to that. So, the guys over at Limitless Laserworks hooked me up on my Glock 34. I've posted pictures of it on my social media. Absolutely fantastic work. I've dealt with, do-it-yourself wood burner kits and stippling jobs. And while they did okay, you always run into those problems where it snags your shirt, or, doesn't quite feel right as it's rubbing up against your stomach or your hip. I'll tell you, don't have any of those problems every time I grip that gun. It is a solid lockup. So good job to them. I will be sending my Glock 19 out to Limitless Laserworks here in the near future to have them work their magic on that. But Kent, thank you for the lifeline, man. Much appreciated. As always, folks, we appreciate you. We love the lively chat. Please feel free to comment, reach out to us on social media. We'd love to take your questions or just talk to you about your next purchase. We're here to help you out, and hopefully through talking to us and our guidance, we can make you better and well-trained and responsible self-defenders. So from all of us here at the Sling'N podcast, thank you all. God bless you. Take care of each other and get out and shoot.
Bye, everybody.